Brothers Keepers is a vital podcast fostering brotherhood and open dialogue for Black men and boys. It tackles crucial topics like mental health, fatherhood, and criminal justice disparities, offering actionable insights. Discover how this impactful podcast inspires resilience and community upliftment, continuing a powerful legacy.
All right, good evening, everyone. We got a topic here for you today. It's gonna be very interesting. I know a lot of people have been looking forward to it, and but we're here. We made it to episode 10, and we're gonna talk about something that's really been hot on the list. That a lot of people that's been basically waiting since probably about week 3 or 4 to discuss, and that is polygamy and polygamy. And
hey. I mean, yeah, that's it. That's it. Why is pretty much like he was saying. Why is polygamy also an option? So, like he said, this is our season finale, episode 10. Hey, once again, congratulations, brother. Hey, we made it. We made it this season. I'm working on season 2 right now as we speak. It's gonna take me another week to get everything chopped up and together, setting up the questions and things like that. So, be patient with me on that. Because I like for things to come organic. I don't like forcing questions. So that's why, the questions I've always given, it's been, everything has been set up to this point. So I let it flow according to each episode. So that takes time to actually do that the proper way. Also, additionally, based on the comments, the questions that we get, and if people want a part 2, we will make this a part 2 Saturday of this. So we can extend this. And the reason why we're saying this is because we're going to talk so much, me and him, collectively about this stuff that I don't want to shield people from the questions they may have of this. So we're really going to dedicate part 2, if need to, with just questions that people have had from this episode. And also part 2, if people jump in and have questions then, or want a follow-up question, feel free to. So if we need to, part 2 will be dedicated for questions. We may pick a question here and there for something, quick for us to answer. We'll dive into it. But if not, we're going to make that strictly for episode, for part 2 of this episode. Other than that, we're finna go ahead and get to it. The way we're going to do this, I'm going to break this down and segue into things. And this I'm going to break down by starting off with a story time. So this is my story time. There's going to be no names. It'll be like the state, because everybody, if a lot of people that know me, know I'm from Alabama. So I'll probably say cities and state, but no names will be brought up at all in this conversation. So, I'm just going to say titles, but no names. So back when I was in high school, I was getting close to graduating. It was like around my beginning of my senior year, and I normally hung around older people. So I was with my cousin, which was like a little bit older than me. So the fellas I used to hang out with back in the days, I was the youngin' of the bunch, and we used to always, back in them days, we didn't have cell phones. We had beepers and we had little organizers. We get phone numbers and stuff. So the game we used to always play, let's go out, we go to the mall, and let's talk to girls and get their numbers and stuff. That was our thing back in them days. And we ended up going to the mall in Dothan, and we walked, and we saw some girls that a girl that kind of caught my eye. And my cousin, he is very he has no filter. So he noticed that, it was someone that I was interested in. He was like, hey, let's go over there. So we all went over there, and he's very open-minded. So he's like, hey, my cousin, hey, he like one of y'all. And he literally looks at me and say, hey, pick the one you like. And I'm like, and luckily the girl was already beside me. So I was like, hey, now speak to you for a moment. So, we talked. I got a number of things like that. And we actually was about to get ready to hit the road and go to Panama City. So I was like, hey, I'll get with you when I get back in town. So she was like, cool. So once again, we don't have cell phones. So everything is when you go home, you call the person when you at home. So we go out of town, and we come back in town, and in the midst of coming back in town, we hit Dothan up again. Because once again, I'm not from Dothan, I'm from Enterprise, Alabama. It's a little town next to Fort Worth, which is like a military base. So we go back to the mall. That's that next week, we go back to the mall. We do the same thing again. We go walking around. We walk past these sets of girls twice. We walk by. I call her out. There's another lady. We're going to say Lady B. So Lady B, same thing happened. My cousin went over there, did the same thing again. Called me out. I had to step up to the plate. Let the lady know, hey, I'm interested. Can I get a moment of her time? I talked to her. We exchanged numbers, everything like that. So we still in the mall. And we did something we normally don't ever do. We ended up going to the food court, and then we went to the game area. I don't know what made us want to go to the game area, but for some reason we went to the game area. We came out the game area, and guess what I see? I see Lady B with her friends, and then I see Lady A and her friends actually walking to Lady B and Lady A. So I'm like, so my cousin looking at me, I'm looking at him, he looking at me, I was like, I think they know each other. He was like, nah, ain't no way. I was like, I think they know each other. He was like, nah, I don't think they know. And guess what? Out of all the friends, them two hug each other, talking, everything like that. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, it didn't bother me, but my cousin was like, hey man, you gonna have a problem. I was like, I didn't think I had a problem. But he was like, man, you got a problem. I'm like, I don't think I got a problem. So during that time, so we ended up leaving. We never bumped into them again. We ended up leaving. Neither one of them saw us before we left. So I talked to both of them frequently throughout the weeks. And during that time frame, I started getting a hint that they have talked about me based off the conversations that I'm having with both of them separately. So the thing is, both of them were total opposites, but the exterior was it was very similar. They was well spoken. They weren't loud. They didn't curse. They dressed like ladies. They didn't wear nothing tight. They both was, and one was in sports, one was in cheerleading, but their personalities was very different. Even though they was very similar on how they took care of themselves, and they both had a father in their life. They had 2-parent households, very broad. Well, one was more like classy, and the other one was very more like a talkative, social butterfly type of lady, where, I could talk to her about anything. Where the other one, I mostly talk to her about, progressive stuff, getting us, what we're gonna do in our future. Where the other one, goes very close. So